We are back. We are live. You are live. I still don't like my lighting, but I'm working through it. That's okay. So before we recorded this, you said that a lot of people probably don't know what you look like.
Mhm.
So this is your moment. Introduce yourself to the world. To the world. Like not that many people will see this, but people will see this. So introduce yourself to the world. Let people know who you are. Whatever you want to tell people is whatever you want to. Whatever you want to say is whatever you want to say. Like I always say for all of these, when I'm able to talk to people is we've chatted before this. I have questions that I want to ask.
Mhm.
When I go off script, I will announce I'm going off script. So I don't, because I feel like I don't want anybody to ever think I'm like tricking people when
Mhm.
if I ask a hard question. So just
Sure.
FYI, so everybody knows we're both on the same page and we're good to go.
My name is E-Man. Y'all probably know me as Gucci on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I'm a content creator, social media manager, videographer, former college basketball player. I do a lot of different stuff. So
You
yeah,
do.
basically what I do. And like the past 9 months, I've also established as a Twitch content creator as well.
Ooh. And you are like phenomenal at editing videos.
Appreciate it.
Like there's like levels of like, oh, that's good. That was cute. And then there's
Yeah.
levels where it's like, I want that skill right now. And I don't have that skill.
Thank you.
So kudos to you. Every single video, and I'll make sure I'll tag them in the description, but
Appreciate
every single video you create, I'm like, I need that now. But
it.
whatever. It is what it is. So cool. Well, thanks for chatting with me. I will be honest and say I reached out to you and I was like, if you want to come talk to me, I would love to have you. I love talking to people in similar spaces that I'm in.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're both Colorado fans. I always tell people I'm one of those fans that like I don't care what I support, everyone's getting the same treatment from me. Like so I'm giving it to Mike Tomlin on Sundays, then I will give it to Colorado, and I give it to the Texas Longhorns if I need to. So like
No.
I I am who I am. It doesn't matter what I'm doing or what I support. So thank you for acknowledging and knowing that and still
Sure.
being comfortable coming and talking to me.
Most
So
definitely.
I appreciate that. I think I am very curious to know like about your fandom. What makes you be
Mhm.
a fan of Colorado? When did your fandom start? When did you realize like this I'm writing for this team? Like these are my people. I'm writing for them.
I wouldn't really say like I'm a Colorado fan. It's
Oh,
more
okay.
so Coach Prime. You know what
Fair.
I'm saying? Because Coach Prime used to live, well, he kind of still does live in Dallas. That's where I'm based in. So when he was coaching at Trinity Christian, I was still in high school. So like I would go
Oh,
to the
okay.
game. So I was already like a supporter of Coach Prime, even when he went to Jackson State. And then when he went to Colorado, I was still a fan as well. So just following Coach Prime, it's been like a journey for me as
Yeah.
well. And
Yeah. For
last year,
listen, for all of us, it's a journey,
oh yeah,
okay?
yeah, for sure. It really is. And last year I wasn't really like on Twitter like that, but I was still supporting from afar. And
Okay.
it wasn't really until like the end of the season, until like when I was just like when I started my Twitter and actually supporting, like putting it out there. And then that's when just everything just blew up.
Yeah. Okay. So, what made you get on Twitter? Like, what made you say, I kind of want to get on Twitter? Like, did you always want to get on there, or did somebody tell you? Like, because I also like I was on Twitter pre Elon Musk. That's a whole different conversation. I won't go there. And I used to love it. And then whatever. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I just want to join. Just like I just want another like outlet source of like information
Mhm,
and things coming, into my orbit. But
mhm.
what made you start your Twitter?
It was just random. Like I was just posting like clips and like
Oh,
also
okay.
during the transfer portal last year, I was very big on trying to get transfers to Colorado. So like I was
Ah, okay.
so and
You,
a lot of
you want
people
to be
actually,
part of the solution.
oh yeah, for sure. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? 'Cause I didn't even watch the last two games of last season. Like that's how like it was really bad. So I was like trying to get
Yeah.
Colorado to be better, you know what I'm saying, this year. And
Oh,
every
so you kind of joined it as like an advocate.
oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. And then what was your first moment where you thought, "Okay, this is kind of cool. Like, okay, I don't mind this. This isn't that bad."
Probably when I was bringing in recruits, for sure. I was bringing in recruits, and there was actually a recruit that was supposed to come to Colorado that ended up not coming. DJ Lundy, I was actually
Mhm.
recruiting him as well, and that kind of blew up. Like people were kind of like, "Oh, Gucci brought him here," then he ended up not coming. So,
Yeah.
yeah, people gravitated towards it for sure.
I love that. Wasn't there somebody what did I just am I making this up? Did I just see recently there's somebody else that played well this
Oh,
past weekend that
Hill
you
Green.
brought? Is that who it was? I remember
Yes.
seeing it. Okay. I always tell people my Twitter's chaotic because I'm in I see random Steelers stuff. I'll see a random
Mhm.
Texas thing, a random Colorado thing, and then a political thing, and then it's literally on cycle. So
For
I
sure.
never know like if it's new or old or whatever.
Mhm.
So okay. Well, listen, I want to personally thank you for being a part of
Sure.
that because that was needed and we
Yeah,
needed him. So I appreciate that.
no
So
problem.
I don't think I've given him the business yet. No, he's been fine. So he's been good. He's good on you. Good on you. I'll know who to direct my anger to if I don't like it. I'm just kidding. I'm not that bad. So, okay. And then how do you feel? Okay. I'm a fan of programs
Okay.
and I try to stay very neutral on players and
Mhm.
be a program girl because I feel like if I'm a program girl,
Mhm.
I can remain consistent no matter who I support. So even
Yeah,
if I started watching the Dallas Cowboys, that's not my team, but I
yeah.
would still kind of be that same way because there's not a player that I like feel like a connection to.
Mhm.
How is it for you, being that you talk to some of the players that they know you?
It's
How do you
actually
kind of keep your like,
Mhm. It's actually kind of
your
crazy because, like, when I'm watching the games, I'm just like, man, I really know that guy that's on the field right now. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, I've talked to this guy, so like, it's kind of like hard to like just like watch it and just like you're always supporting that guy that's on the field, or you
Yeah,
want to see.
see, I don't want to do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy like Isaiah Augusta, I talk to him a lot, and like whenever I see him on the field, it's just like, oh yeah, that's my guy. So you know what
That's
I'm saying? So,
okay.
yeah,
And
so
so is it hard for you to like if you see them doing something that you know is like not great?
mhm.
Because wait, didn't Augusta, I think Augusta fumbled. Is that
Yeah.
who fumbled? Were you
Mhm.
kind of like, oh no, like as a friend, or were you like, oh no, as a fan?
It was kind of a little bit of both because you know what I'm
Okay.
saying. I actually talked to him before the game. I was just like, stay locked in because I know you're gonna get a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
So just seeing that kind of go on, it's just like, ah, man.
See, what you're saying is making a case as to why I tell people it's like I can't watch things because I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I've been there before. Trust
Okay.
me. And so now I'm like, I don't want it. I don't care who the girlfriend is. I don't care if they're pregnant. I don't care if they're getting married. I don't care if it's their birthday.
For
Like, I
sure.
don't care. Like, I just want you to go do good. And
Exactly.
that's it. So yeah, some of my friends are like, you dehumanize them. I'm like, no, they're just a number and a jersey. And
Yeah.
that's how I want it to stay. So a little bit about how you got into content creating. Was it something
Mhm.
that you always wanted to do? Did you know? Because listen, I called myself a content creator on one of my videos a few days ago, and I was like, oh, is that what I? Oh, okay. So did you want to be a content creator, or did you just find yourself creating content?
Yeah. I used to be a college basketball player. So before I actually got into content creation, I was playing college basketball and then
Okay.
fell out of love for it. So
Mm,
I was trying to kind of look for different avenues for me to kind of do if I ended up not playing college basketball anymore.
okay.
So then I ended up getting a job at the end of 2021 and I bought a camera and then I just went out and just started taking pictures of everybody of
I
like
love that.
celebrities. I think the first celebrity I took pictures of was Savannah James. And then that
Wait, do
kind
you take professional pictures?
yeah, for sure. I do weddings, all that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So and
I'm
then
obsessed with this, by the way. I am obsessed. Keep talking. Like, tell me
And
more.
then I took pictures of Bronny James as well that same day because she was there watching him. And then Des Bryant a month later, destroying. He's a YouTuber. He's done a lot
Yeah.
of stuff with Travis Hunter as well. And it just kept going from there. And then I started getting into videography of like a few years later, and then just went from there.
No, I love that. Good for
Yeah,
you. I love when people just do stuff.
yeah.
Like, just do it and see what you like. I just moved the mic back, so I feel like I yell. I talk really loud, so
No, you're good.
hopefully I wasn't yelling at you. It's
No,
not you. It's totally me. Well, I love that, and I love that it's almost mirroring two perfect worlds because then you have like Coach Prime, who is a very, marketing videos and like all of those things do
yeah.
really well in that space. So
Mhm.
it's almost like a perfect like marriage of the
Yeah.
things that you love, the things you get to do, and then you
Mhm.
get to do it for Colorado because, like I said before, if you haven't seen any of these videos he's creating, you are missing out actually. Because I was in his DMs, I'm like, show me how. Like right now,
And I
show me
actually
how
have
you
to
did
show
this.
you a demo of how I do it still.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, can I publicly say I'm going to take credit if you post a demo for other people to see as well.
Yeah.
This is me publicly saying you're welcome because
For
I'm
sure.
the one that asked for it. So you are welcome if you get that. So let's talk a little bit about Colorado. We are 2 games into the season. This is being recorded after the win Colorado State before the Baylor game. So we're kind of sandwiched in between that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the season? I just thought of a question. What is like a peak of the season, and then a part of the season where you're kind of going, okay.
I think everybody's like kind of downfall was the Nebraska game because the offensive line was kind of not what everybody kind of expected. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a letdown, but you're going to have bad games here and there, but
Yep.
you still got to keep your momentum and just kind of keep your fandom. So I really still do believe in the offensive line. They played a really
Okay.
good game last week against Colorado State. So we just got to take it from there and see where things go.
Yeah. I'm being very careful when I ask this question because if anybody has seen me on Twitter, I'm a mess during the game because I like get very pissed off. I'm like,
Oh,
what the F? Literally, what the F? I'm
yeah,
probably saying what everybody is thinking because I can tell by the people who are liking my comments, but they just don't want to tweet it.
exactly.
How how do you feel about the variation of our run game? Let me say it that way. How do you feel about it? Are you feeling better after seeing Colorado State and kind of hoping that that continues to evolve? How are you feeling about it?
I feel like it starts with the offensive line, really. It starts with them doing their job, like to be able for the runners, the running backs to be able to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
So I really liked how they managed to put a good package of running backs out there versus Colorado State. I
Yeah.
wish they would have done that sooner. And because Michael Welch, we all knew what Michael Welch could do.
Yeah.
He did what everybody else like expected. So, and
Yeah.
Isaiah Augusta as well. He did his thing as well, minus the fumble that he had. But I feel like if they continue to play how they played against Colorado State, I feel like this team could really like make noise.
Yeah. I've said, and my video probably has released since we've been recording this. We're recording this on Thursday. I need to call that out because God forbid people like so many things happen by the time I record and then by the time it releases, and people are like, you didn't ask him about, and I'm like, we didn't know. We didn't know about it. So just so we know, this is recorded on Thursday. So if something crazy happens, we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
But in my video that released today, I say something along the lines of, I think it's going to be interesting to see how we move forward.
Mhm.
It's going to be interesting to see, are we the North Dakota State game? Are we the Nebraska game? Are we the Colorado State? Like, we're not sure. I think we all know what we want to be. We're just
Mhm.
not sure.
Yeah.
So this Baylor game is going to be very, very, very interesting to
And
me.
I watched a lot of Baylor's games, the past games that they just played, and they're a really, really physical team.
You know what?
What's up?
Good for you. Do you know how many people I talk to that are fans and I'm like, oh, what do you think about this? And they're like, oh, I haven't really watched them. I watch kind of a couple of things. And this is what I think. And I'm like, then
Yeah,
nothing you say matters because you don't even know what you're talking about.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think Baylor is North Dakota State plus Colorado State more athletic. Take
Yeah.
that to me what you want.
Mhm.
Quarterback play, again, whatever.
Yeah.
But everything else, they're just like a little bit faster, a
Mhm.
little bit more athletic, a little bigger. Oh, it's
Mhm.
like just a step up above that. So that's how I see them. So kudos to you. So I want to ask you a Baylor question, and then I'll go back to your experience because I know you went to the first game.
Got
What was your one thing that you saw when you were watching Baylor that made you go, okay, Colorado needs to know that, like, pay attention to this one thing? Or what is the one thing you saw when you were watching them where you were kind of like, all right,
Oh, yeah,
I could see that being a thing?
for sure. Yeah, they fly around. They're very athletic. They get to
Yeah.
the ball. I like their defensive tackles. They know how to get to the quarterback, and we're gonna have to do a really good job, especially from the offensive line, and also stopping the run as well on the defensive line. I know we don't have Chidozie this weekend, so we're gonna have to really step it up. It can't be like the
Facts.
Nebraska game. So we
Yeah,
just have to be very disciplined this game in order to get the W.
I agree. I 100% agree. So let's talk about your game experience.
Mhm.
I've been to probably I can't even count how many first game of the seasons I've gone to because I think there's
Mhm.
so much energy around the first of anything in any sports. Like this is the first game since we won a championship. This is the first
Mhm.
game after whatever.
Yeah.
How was the energy? How was that? How are the people? How did you enjoy your first game? Because you were on the sidelines, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So how did you enjoy? How was that for you?
It was amazing. Like the atmosphere, it was very electric, and like the whole stadium was packed out. And especially when it got to the nighttime and the lights and
Oh,
the jumbotron, it was just amazing. Like everything, like it just felt like I wasn't even there for real. So it was a really
yeah. Did you like the so this is like a little bit self-fulfilling for me
Mhm.
because self-fulfilling is probably not the word, but I like pregame festivities. Just
Mhm.
like I like watching the players walk out of the tunnel and when they're kind of relaxed and when they're kind of getting in game mode and then when they run out and then when they stretch. Like I like all those like, because you don't get to see those things on TV, first of all. You
Exactly.
only see those things if you're there.
Mhm.
But how did you feel like before the game? Like could you feel excitement? Were you like how was that? Just like pre-game kind of before everything popped off. Were you like, "Think this team?" Or were you like, "Oh, he's bigger in person?" Or like how did you feel like seeing them, just before the game?
Everything, it was so surreal. Like just like walking up to the tunnel where I'd go to the sidelines. It felt like I was about to play. You
I
know what I'm
love
saying?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt really surreal. And just seeing the players walk past me, it was just like I've talked to this guy, this guy. They don't even know who I am because they don't know what I look like. So it was just like
Surprise.
yeah, for sure. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love good game experiences. Did you go to the concession stand?
No, I did not. I was on the
Okay.
sideline the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Listen,
I was trying to get
feel
every
you.
place that I can because
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. Anyways, I won't tell that story, but yeah, I feel you. I'm that way too. I'm like, this is my first experience. Oh no, we're gonna be here till we get kicked out,
exactly.
basically. So you're going to kick me out of this.
Yeah.
I love that. And so, okay, we're black people. Black
Mhm.
people love food.
Mhm.
And the most important thing, the most sought after question about Colorado when you go to Boulder is where did you eat?
Mhm.
Was the food good? What
Yeah.
would you recommend for people going to Boulder?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even eat food in Boulder because I stayed in Denver. I didn't
Oh,
get to
I
see
love
Boulder.
Denver. Was that your
Yeah,
first time in Denver?
yeah, that was my first time. It was
Ooh, did you like it?
yeah, I really did. I went to a
Oh,
bar
man,
in Denver. I forgot the name of it though, but it has some really good food there. It
they
was really
do. I love Denver. I
yeah.
loved it. Oh, I think I tweeted at you. I'm like, if you like that,
Mhm.
try Utah.
Utah.
Everybody thinks I'm nuts.
Mhm.
Everyone's like, Utah, okay. And then every single person I've ever sent there is like, you know what?
Yeah.
That was nice. I'm like, I know,
For
I
sure.
know, I
Mhm.
know. Okay, so you stayed in Denver. Game day, then I'm assuming you drove into Boulder.
Mhm.
How was that traffic wise? Did you leave early? Did you have any issues?
Yeah, I had actually had to get there early because I'm media, so like just getting there.
Sorry, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, actually,
My bad. Hey, regular people, this isn't for you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
So I had to get there like 3 hours before the game to like get my media pass.
Oh,
But
right. Like, did you have like a parking spot?
yeah, I had all those.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I've
Okay.
seen a
Cool.
lot of people like walking like miles to like park their car. So I think
And were
that
you laughing at all of us normal people that would have to walk?
nah, yeah, I was just seeing them walk past. I'm just like, nah, man, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
I would never come to a game if I had to walk. No, that's not happening. No,
Nah,
I'm kidding. Hopefully, people watching this know that I'm kidding.
yeah.
So I think the reason why I bring that up is because I think that there's so many things that happen within this space of
Mhm.
Colorado, and
Yeah.
you know this. There's fans that are like considered haters. There are fans that are super hard on Colorado, i.e., me. There's
Mhm.
people that will support this team, anything they do, even if it's good or bad or indifferent. Like there's all different variation of fans.
Yeah.
I always tell people the most important thing though is that I want them to win.
Yep.
So I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you call me, okay?
Yeah.
Just know I want people to win and I want this team to win. And
Yeah.
so the reason why it's super important for me to just bring out the different variations of people is because we're all watching this differently. We all have different views, we all have different experiences.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. We just want to win. I want to talk trash to my freaking group chat that
Yeah.
continues to send me crap.
I know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I hear you, and I'm excited that you. The other thing is too is I think that I'm using my words very carefully. There's a group of people on Twitter specifically that are really close to the team and that get a lot of great conversations and other things because of that closeness. And I want to acknowledge that because I think that sometimes people just assume like, oh, you guys are just all on Coach Prime and blah, blah. And it's like, yes, but it's not that. It's actually bigger than that. And just a lot of people don't know that. So that's why I want to bring awareness to like, yeah, I might be on Twitter defending him, but you know what else I'm doing? I'm not walking to the stadium. I'm on the field. So
Exactly.
it's like
there was a lot of people that thought that I wasn't going to do that before the season. So
exactly. And so this is people call it I'm being professionally petty, call it what you want.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like stop talking about what other people are. Just because I'm not a fan like you're a fan doesn't mean what I'm doing is wrong or right. So that's my whole thing. So kudos to you.
Appreciate
And the next time you go, you take a picture of your feet walking on the grass as you're walking on the sidelines. That would make me happy.
I got it.
Are you going to any other games?
I actually plan on going to Kansas State and Utah. So
okay,
games that I play.
Okay. So I'll be waiting for you to post that picture when you're walking of your feet as you're walking to stand on the turf because people don't get that opportunity. Like it's a big deal to go stand on a football field. And I know it sounds crazy. So kudos to you. So I'll get off my high horse and stop being petty. So the other thing I want to ask you is what are you looking? So we're 3 games in. Who has surprised you as far as their level of play and what you've seen? And I guess it could be a coach too. And who have you thought, okay, I'm waiting to see more from this thing or from this person or from this group?
I wouldn't say surprise. I would say impressed me a lot. I would probably say Robert Livingston, the defensive coordinator. He's done an amazing job with the defense.
Yeah.
Just allowing them.
Sorry, plug. I'm still on his ass. So go ahead.
For what?
I just need to make that aware because this is where it gets hard. This is Big 12 play. Like this is where you match talent for talent, adjustment for adjustment.
Yeah.
And it's about adjustment now. It's not even, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just warning the people because you know how I get. So anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll
Robert Livingston has been, I do agree with what you're saying though. I hear you.
Yeah. He's just allowing everybody to play their game. I feel like last year, it was just a lot of complex play and everybody on defense wasn't allowed to play the game that they're really accustomed to, like from their former schools.
Fair.
So
yeah,
I feel like Robert Livingston has done a great job with the defense this year. And another guy that I'm impressed with, I'll probably say, man, I don't even know. Everybody's just playing out of their mind.
You cannot say Travis or Shador. Don't even try it. Okay.
I'll probably say Nakai. Nakai has been playing out of his mind, especially.
I like it.
Yeah, he's been playing like how everybody expect him to play. So I'm very impressed with him and what he's done.
I am too. I like it. I like. Yeah, I think he. Do you remember last year when like Juju kind of stepped in, and it was like when as soon as he got on the field, it was like we all knew he was supposed to be on the field. That's how I feel with Green. It's like. Yeah, he looks like he's supposed to be there. I love that.
Yeah. And his experience, he's played with the Jim Harbaugh in Michigan.
Yeah,
he has
good
that
old Jim.
character. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like watching Green play linebacker. I'm a linebacker. I'm an AFC North girl. You know that. But I love like the Steelers. Come on, you don't know that?
I'm a Ravens fan.
I know. We've had this conversation.
When?
I thought we had this conversation.
I don't think.
Oh wait, no, it was somebody else I was into it with on Twitter.
I did not know you were a Steelers fan.
No. So because last week the Steelers, anyway, it's a long story. But because I'm a Steelers fan, but I cheer for Lamar because I want Lamar to do well.
Yeah.
And then Justin Tucker kicked for the University of Texas. So I always have this weird thing. But to my core, I can't like cheer on the Ravens per se. So when the Steelers win and it looks ugly and we look undisciplined and we look terrible and I'm on Mike Tomlin, I also get to say, well, at least the Ravens haven't won a game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it started. So that's why I was like, wait, yeah. So sidebar, total sidebar. Needless to say, being an AFC North girl, I can appreciate great linebacker play. Like, sign me up for that any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Like, I'm here for all of that.
Yeah.
So what would you say? You're probably going to say running backs, but what would you say? Well, I don't know if it's, anyways, what would you say is one thing that you're like, we have to get better at this?
Running the football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, it starts with the whole line. They have to do their job in order for them to do what they have to do. So I feel like.
Okay. So, do you think it's the O-line's fault? Like, I don't want to say fault. That sounds dramatic.
Yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think it's their lack of desire? Do you think it's a lack of philosophy? Do you think it's a lack of calling the plays that work for them? It's like, I guess my question is this. Because these are the things I ask myself, right? Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, we have a new defensive coordinator that's been able to come in, assess the talent so far, and he's been able to kind of figure out where he's at with his talent.
Yeah.
Where is that happening on the other side of the ball?
I feel like it falls into one bucket. Like everything falls into one bucket. Like you have to be able to study your keys and do what you have to do, and like make sure you're blocking your man and master your plan, and just also be disciplined as well when you're on the line. I feel like everybody did, because last year, I don't even want to talk about last year, but you know what I'm saying? So like everybody just has to be disciplined and like master what they have to do and master what like you have to do on the line in order for the running back to do what they have to do, and also to protect Shador as well.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's the whole ball game.
Yeah.
Like, as a girl who says we need to have balance, we need to run the ball more, we need to have this, whatever. Before we need to do all of that, we first need to protect Shador. Like, so I don't want anybody to get twisted. Like, the first thing we need to do is protect Shador. And once that's okay, let's work. And maybe that's where we're at. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's what we're actually seeing is that evolution. I mean, I guess we really don't know. We just can watch and see. So when the season's over, let's say we're done, season's over, whatever day the season's over, and you're looking back at the season, to you, what would success look like? That you would be able to go, you know what? That was pretty successful.
I'll probably say, well, Coach Prime has been saying getting Peggy to a bowl game, which is 6 wins, but I'll probably say anything that's double the amount of wins that we had last year will probably be a success. So that's A+ wins, because we had 4 wins last year, and you see the difference in the team that we have this year and last year. Not even just the players, but the coaching as well. So when you have all that, it's just like you have to have at least A+ wins. Like it has to be double what we had last year. So I'll say anything that's A+ wins will be a success for this team.
Interesting. I hear what you're saying. You're the first person that's come out that bold. So I respect it.
For sure.
I like it. Do you think that who left on this schedule are you most concerned about? Are there any teams where you look at and you're kind of like, all right, this game might be a little bit tougher than most, or how are you feeling?
I'm not really concerned about anybody. I don't think the players are concerned about anybody either.
Well, they better not be.
Yeah. But I'll probably say our toughest challenge would probably be Utah, the Utah game.
Interesting. Okay.
Because everybody's talking about them being the best team in the Big 12. So that's going to be a tough challenge for us to just get over and see how we fare up against them.
Yeah. Who do they play? What if Oklahoma State beats Utah? Would you feel differently about Utah, or then would you feel differently about Oklahoma State?
I mean, I feel like it depends on how the game goes.
Okay.
Yeah, because every game is different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we just have to see how they win and see how or what they did in order to for them to be Utah.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love when people give me like things I wasn't expecting. now I'm like, ooh, okay, I like it. Do
So,
you? So then that means that UCF, you feel good about that game.
oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. And I'm not trying to put you on the
We
spot.
we
I'm just
have to
curious.
stop the run on that one.
Well, that's
Yeah,
my
we have
concern.
to stop the run.
That's my concern.
I
That's
feel
why
like
I said,
that's
yeah, that's
probably the reason why they're not playing Chidozie this weekend. I think they're trying to keep him healthy for next week and stopping the run because they have a very good running back. I think his name is RJ Harvey.
they have two. I think they have two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have running back, so we're gonna have to
Yeah.
stop him on that one.
Okay. You know what? I see where you're going with that. I think I
Mhm.
like it. Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand that. And
Mhm.
then my other question is, I didn't prepare for this, but I just thought about this question.
Okay.
Do you think that Colorado is better at home, or do you think they're better away? Obviously, we don't have a lot of sample size yet, and
Yeah.
we had obviously Nebraska. We don't even talk about it. But
Mhm.
then there's Colorado State, and then there's North Dakota State at home. Like, which they're supposed to get better. But
Mhm.
how did you feel watching those two different variations? Can you make and it could be too early for you to like, even like have a thought about it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a balance. I feel like we're good at home or bad at home or good away or bad away. Like I feel like there's just a balance. You know what I'm saying?
We could be
Like,
bad wherever. We could be good
yeah,
wherever. It
you
doesn't
know what
matter.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say the Steelers play better on the road. I don't know why.
Mhm.
They just do.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how that happens, and I don't know who this Texas team is, so I can't tell you if they're better on the road or away because I don't freaking know what we got going. I mean, like
Yeah.
so that's why I asked. I'm like, I'm just curious to know like how you feel. And I don't know if I'll be able to figure out with Texas too, because I think some of our harder games are actually at home. So
Yeah.
I just always wonder like how people, because when the Steelers are away, I'm like, oh, okay, we got a chance. When they're at home, I'm like, okay, please don't screw this up. Please manage the clock. Please, like,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. I
Okay,
know.
cool. Um, yeah. Do you want to talk about the Ravens?
Go ahead. Ask the question. I have a lot of things to say about the Ravens, especially right now because we're 0-2. So
Yeah.
I'm on them
Okay.
already.
So what do you think? Okay. Since you're a fan,
Mhm.
I will be honest. I don't know if you watched my NFL fan series, but I had an NFL fan series. I had a Ravens fan on. And one of the things that him and I talked about is I told him and I didn't love the Derrick Henry move because we felt like they weren't going to use Derrick Henry the right way. 2 games into the season, how do you feel about like just what do you think the problem is? Because I also have been on record as saying that I want to see more from Lamar Jackson, and I don't think they also use him the right way either, because I don't feel like they've learned his skill set the right way. I think
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you're a fan of that team. I'm just an observer. What do you think when you see your team?
I feel like it's the coaching. I feel like it's John Harbaugh's time. he has to he has to get out of it because like it's yeah, I get mad just talking about the Ravens. So like John
Oh, you
Harbaugh,
said horrible. Oh
oh,
boy, let me move my hair back. I got a
yeah,
little hot. Okay,
yeah,
okay. All right.
I
Well,
feel
I'm
like it's
listening.
time.
I'm listening.
I feel like his time is up. There's a lot of Ravens fans that have said like Mike McDonald. I don't know if you know Mike McDonald, our
Yeah,
former defensive
yeah.
coordinator.
The
Like,
former.
yeah, everybody's been saying like John Harbaugh should have got fired and he should have got the job. You know what I'm saying? And I actually agree with that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I feel like it's him that's been making a lot of mistakes with this team, and he got to get out of there.
Do you
That's
think he's holding? Do you think he's holding? Oof, oof. Okay, go ahead. Tell me something else.
the offensive line. I don't feel like we don't have a good offensive line this
Yeah,
season.
they're not very. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not very good.
I think our center is probably our best offensive lineman. He does a good job on the line, but everybody else, Ronnie Stanley, he's on an injury tour right now. He gets injured every single year. He got to get out of there. We have another dude, Falele. He's never been a starter. We have another, I think, our right tackle, Rosengarten. It's just a mess right now. And,
Yeah. Do you think it's a mess because John Harbaugh isn't? Ooh, I wasn't expecting you to say that. I'll be honest. Like that was the last thing I was expecting you to say. But now when I think about their issues and their problems,
Mhm.
it does almost kind of look like, are they drafting the right people?
They actually do a good job drafting, but I think it's the development after that is where they
Mm,
mess up at, and also allowing our best players to be out on the field. I think they do a bad job doing that as well. Because our wide receiver Rashad Bateman, he's been there for I think this is his fourth, fifth year. He hasn't
yeah.
developed. He hasn't taken that leap for him to be that top receiver because he's a first round pick. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
that's a
just-
good point.
yeah, it's just development. It's everything.
Oh man, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
For sure.
I guess it's interesting because have you guys ever had a losing season
Oh
under
yeah,
Harbaugh? Oh, okay.
yeah. I think when Ray Lewis left, like after
I
that.
guess Harbaugh just is kind of like synonymous with the Ravens right now. So
Mhm.
it's probably going to take a lot
Yeah.
for anybody to really, because we know how this works, right? Like the fan
Mhm.
base starts saying something
Yeah.
and then big media picks up and then the hot seat. But until they pick it up,
Yeah.
it usually just stays within the fan base.
If it were up to me, this would be his last year. That's what I
It's actually interesting though that you said that because a lot of the issues that I just talked about before you said that
Mhm.
are about coaching.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why they lost that AFC championship game. I think
Yeah.
they blew it, and I
Yeah.
was pissed. And
Mhm.
I'm like, you guys bully us and play us, Steelers, play us a certain way. Then
Yeah.
these freaking peasants roll into town, and now you're soft. Like, what
Like
are
they
you
just forget their whole philosophy when it's time to play football. It's just
doing? You guys play the Kansas City Chiefs like you play us. You
yeah.
stopped running the ball. You stopped, like, you just stopped being the bully. And I'm like, if that's what you're going to do, obviously fine. But I was disgusted. But even just thinking, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So, but I can see kind of what you're saying
Yeah.
because, and then who do they have? They play the Cowboys this week.
Yep.
That's going to be tough.
I'm
Is
actually
it
going.
in Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yikes.
It's going to be a wild one.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared of
It's
the Cowboys though. It's
it's not about the Cowboys. It's just it, I don't like the games where I feel like my team has to win because
Mhm.
it feels like desperation,
Yeah. I know what you
you
mean.
know. And then the Cowboys just lost and got embarrassed,
Yeah.
which I don't care if they ever get embarrassed. I don't care, but whatever. I don't care.
Exactly.
So interesting. Okay. All right. Well, we kind of detoured our Colorado talk a
Yeah.
little bit about the Ravens. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So the other thing that's funny is I'm here talking about y'all's offensive line. Listen, ours isn't much better. It just looks better, but
Mhm.
it's not. I mean, I think I, there in Steelers world, there's a little bit of talk of developing our offensive line because for
Yeah.
the past, like really since Mike Munchak, what's his name? Mike Munchak or whatever, Munchak, whatever his name is.
I don't
I
even
think
know.
that was his name. He was our offensive line coach, and we had a great offensive line. And since then, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we lost Pouncey, DeCastro. Like once those guys left, it was like we didn't ever like who are those next guys?
Mhm.
We don't know. Broderick Jones like can't stop holding to save his freaking life. So here we are. So we're kind of in a similar boat. We've just won games. It's the
Mhm.
only difference. So, and okay, Harbaugh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I it would you be on like Twitter? Would you say that on Twitter? Would you tweet that?
I talk about the Ravens all the time.
No, but I'm saying, like, how passionately do you feel about that?
I
Is it
feel
like,
very passionate about it. There's a
oh,
lot
okay,
of Ravens fans that like emphasize on that. Like Harbaugh is the reason why we're not making that leap as a team. Like every year it's the same thing. So it has to be coaching. Like it can't be just like the players because we're getting the right guys in
getting
order
different
for us to
players? Yeah.
exactly. So I feel like it has to be coaching.
Well,
it,
good
it
job.
has to be. That's the only thing that I could say.
Yeah, listen, it's your team. I'm not here to tell you anything other than, but I, the things that I see that are wrong with the Ravens, though, I hear you. I
Mhm.
can't make an argument against it.
Yeah.
So, but the truth is, though, is who would you get? But I guess you would have to get somebody and just hope that they are brilliant and can come in and just like be brilliant because there's a lot of bad coaches out here.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
just a new coach isn't always the good thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
But also, there's a lot of people that talk about Lamar as well, like as a quarterback, and
Yeah.
he's never had an All-Pro receiver. So just
Nope.
imagine if you gave Lamar what he actually needs in order for him to make that leap. I feel like you actually like people wouldn't have much to say about Lamar once he has that.
And they don't give him a run game. Give him hand the ball off to Derrick Henry.
It's bad. It's just all the way bad right now.
Hand the ball off to Derrick
It's
Henry.
bad.
Give him 25 touches.
Yeah.
This is simple. Like, that's why it's just like, I'm a Ravens fan, but
Mhm.
hand the ball off to Derrick Henry for crying out loud. Why is he there?
I
Why
don't
is he there?
I don't get it either.
Yeah. And so it's tricky because there's I understand sometimes why they critique Lamar. I
Yeah.
understand it.
Mhm.
But on the flip side of that, you're right. He's had, and if it is Harbaugh, that's a
Mhm.
problem. We'll just table that. But then the
Yeah.
other thing is he's never had an elite team. The Baltimore Ravens, similar to Pittsburgh over the last 70, we're not about offense,
Yeah.
defense. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I feel like
yeah,
last year was our best opportunity to like actually go to the Super Bowl. Like that's the best team he's had in a very long time. Like
it
I actually really
was.
thought we were gonna go to the Super Bowl and actually
Me
make it.
too.
We
Me
just forgot
too.
about our whole philosophy and just messed up again against the Chiefs. So that's what
Yeah, they
happened.
were like, "Oh yeah, who cares that we can run the ball really well and we've done a really good job at it and we've beat a lot of teams running the ball. We're going to pass it." Actually, Lamar, do you want to run? We're not going to run the ball. Lamar, do you want to or do you want to
Did you
pass
see
it?
the
What do you
play
want to
when
do?
Lamar had his pass blown up and he had to catch himself? Like just
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was all
That
over.
was actually the sum of the game.
Exactly.
Was Lamar
Literally.
throwing the ball to himself.
Exactly. I
Well,
don't know.
that's awesome. So I appreciate the pivot there and
Yeah.
talking about the Ravens. And no, because it's funny, nobody ever wants to talk to me about the Steelers because I don't know why. We're like the most inconsistent, or we're the most consistent team in the NFL,
Mhm.
but we do the most things inconsistently, if that makes sense.
I
And
do.
that's just who we are. So it makes us very boring,
Mhm.
very just like, you know what you're going to get. It's not going to be anything spectacular except for the defense and TJ Watt. Everything else, good luck. You know,
For sure.
you can score 90 points, then you play us, you only score 10. It just is what it is. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like boring football that wins games and it's ugly. Whatever.
Exactly.
That's who we are.
And you have Justin Fields as your quarterback, so that
Oh
kind of
my God, I'm so
stuff.
happy. I'm so happy. Oh my God. I don't know if you were following me then when I was on Twitter, but I was like, we need Justin Fields. Go get Justin Fields. And everyone was like, calm down. We're not going to get him. I'm like, we're going to get him. I
Yeah.
know it. So I'm happy to have him. And I think I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but I think the whole Russell Wilson calf injury is more to save his image than it is for anything. I think Justin Fields beat him out in camp. And I think that out of respect for Wilson, he's getting his calf. Yeah, he's still not ready. He still can't do all the plays in the playbook, which because he can't, but again, total conspiracy theory there.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I just feel like there's no way you saw Justin Fields next to Wilson and said, "Hey, Wilson, here's your job." No, they were like,
Yeah, for sure. I could see that. I
"Hey,
could see
yeah." And Fields, we didn't pick up his fifth option. And so
Mhm.
they need to know what they have. They need to
Mhm.
know, like, is this our guy?
Yeah.
And the only way we know that is if we play him and see what he's got. I mean, I'm of the notion in the NFL these days, you don't have to lose your team. As long as you don't lose your team the game,
Mhm.
you're above average because we see a bunch of idiots every week lose the game for their team.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
I'll just leave it at that. Which
Yeah.
leads me to why it pisses me off when people say Shador in the NFL, blah, blah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Have you seen these clowns? Do you
Man.
watch them on Sunday, on Thursday night, Monday night?
Man.
Like, I watch them. Shador can do that. Okay. And he's
That-
not going to do that. But if he needed to do just that, he could do that. So anybody who drafts him is going to get something better than some of this crap I'm seeing. Like, these dudes can't even hand off the ball properly. I'm like, Jesus. But anyways, so now I'm just ranting about Shador. So as we close this, I like to end on a positive. I like to know like what motivates people, what's their passions. I think I've said this before. I usually go back and look at the very ends of these. So like I like to hear what motivates people because sometimes my own personal motivations like disappear because I tell myself them all the time. So
Yeah.
I like to hear like other people's thoughts of what keeps them motivated when they wake up in the morning and you're having a day where you have a headache or you don't want to, or your team loses, or whatever life gets in the way. Like, what is something that you tell yourself that like keeps you motivated to like keep going? As my hair is in my earpiece. Jesus.
I'll just say I have a go-getter mindset. Like,
Ooh,
just my
okay.
whole life is just like do whatever you have to do in order to like be successful. And I always wake up and I have that on my mind to be just like be better than yesterday. So
Nice.
that's what kind of wakes me up and like just keeps me going to be like just be better and just be successful.
Is there somebody in your life that you have that like inspires you? Or is there somebody that like my dad is like my person? He's
Mm,
like nothing about him is perfect,
yeah,
but everything about him is perfect in a way. Like he just always knows like what to say or
yeah,
he's just like good that way. Do you
yeah.
have anybody that you are kind of
I'll
like that
probably
person wouldn't sit here
I'll
and feel
probably
sorry
say
for
my mom because
Nice.
she raised 5 boys by herself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Bless her.
Yeah. So she can go through anything, like,
Talk
and
about
just
a
wake up.
superhero.
Yeah, just wake up and do what she has to do. That I could do the same. So that's what I kind of keep in my mind to like keep me going as well.
I love that. Shout out to all the moms that are taking care of business and doing the things they need to do.
For sure.
Is there anything that as we end this, I always like to leave it open for my guest. I've been terrible at this, so I've tried to get better because I watch my collaborations like I'm a player. I watch my film, and one thing I always forget to do is like allow people their own time, their own space to like talk about whatever you want to say, ask me anything you want to say, or just like open it up for you. Is there anything that you want to say about anything, Colorado? Anything in life or anything that
Okay.
you want to say. And then
Got it.
I forgot to ask you advice you tell your younger self. So I'm going to ask you the advice you tell your younger self, and then I'll open the floor for you.
Okay.
My
Advice I'll tell
hair.
my younger self, just do what you have to do in order to be successful and not worry about what people have to say because that can really hold you back in order for you to make that leap. So just don't worry about
Love
what people say because people are going to talk like all the time, whether
Yeah,
you're successful or you're not. So just
I
keep going.
agree.
So that's what I'll tell myself.
I agree. That's
And
why I
what was your
tweet
second
whatever
question?
comes. That's why I tweet whatever comes to mind. Is there anything
Mhm.
else that you? Is there anything else that you want to say that you want to add before
Okay.
I thank you and tell you how fabulous your video editing is again? Because I need everybody to understand how fabulous it is.
I appreciate it. I'll probably just say just keep watching. I have a lot of videography work that I'll be putting out. I actually plan on expanding just past Colorado, so just keep track of that, and I'll be
Yeah,
posting on TikTok. My TikTok has been blowing up, so you know what I'm saying.
it's
So
good content.
yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so yeah, I plan on expanding on that. So just be on the lookout for that. And Colorado, I would just say, just keep watching because they're gonna get better every week in and week out. So that's
They
what I'll
better.
say.
I'm tired of tweeting. And they're fine. It's just that's just how I am. It's fine.
Yeah,
So I want to like first of all, thank you for like coming on, chatting with me, not thinking I'm crazy when I'm DMing you about video editing
now you're
and
good.
just being willing to chat with me. I think that to be honest with you, I think in this country we don't do enough communicating and just talking to each other,
Mhm.
and we don't always have to agree. I'm sure you and I don't agree on everything, and that's fine.
Yeah,
But we're people and we're human, and we have a common sports team, and we're both in the AFC North. So if somebody came in here and was talking about the AFC North, I'm sure we would talk trash to them
oh yeah,
together
yeah,
because that
exactly,
like that's a code. We live by a code. You don't come for the
exactly.
AFC North. Now,
Mhm.
if you want to come for the Bengals or the Browns, I don't care about that. Go at it.
Yeah,
But I think those things are important for us to like keep talking and keep communicating, even though we might see things different and different things like that. So I am never opposed to talking to anyone. I don't care how different we are. Well, I do have a couple of boundaries, but we'll leave that where it is. But I appreciate you. I also appreciate you for putting out super fun and engaging content. And I also like how you promote the content. I know it sounds really dumb, but I think so many times people do amazing things and then they don't tell people they're doing amazing things.
yeah,
And it leads me to wonder like how proud of you are the thing that you're doing if you don't even want to tell people that you're doing a thing, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So I appreciate you tweeting it out and being like, I did this. Look at this. You know, like, again, it sounds basic, but it's like we don't do enough of like almost that self-promoting when you're doing something that's cool and creative. So kudos to you for that. And then the last thing I'll say is I am proud of you for providing a space for people to connect with you, because you don't have to,
Exactly.
and you don't have to lend your time. You don't have to lend anything. And I appreciate that you do that. And I'm proud of you for doing that. And don't ever lose that, because I think so many times we get so like tied up in things that kind of don't matter.
Yeah.
But like, I appreciate that about you. And I'm proud that you do that, because again, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that and being that. And sorry, I'm just like piling on all this appreciation, but I just appreciate real people. I just appreciate realness. So even if, I just appreciate it. So anyways, so thanks.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And then the last thing I'll say is all of the information for every single thing that he's doing, his Twitter account, we'll get your Twitch account, we'll get your TikTok, we'll add your YouTube, everything that he has talked about here, we will add it in the description box of this episode. So please go in there, click on everything, watch everything, subscribe to everything, comment on everything, all of the things, because he deserves it. And when you see that demo of the editing, you're very welcome.
I appreciate
Anyways, yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining me.
No problem.